All right. Hello, everybody. Congratulations, really, for making it this far past the first half of our iOS development course. It's really commendable that you guys have stuck with us this long. Uh, After this week, um, you will not have any more app projects to build based on the assignments. You will begin the group project phase. And for this session, we will go through just a couple of things, a bit of overview about group projects, and we're gonna do a couple of activities for you guys to get started with coming up with your app project, your app idea, and begin your design process. So we'll talk about a little bit of where we've been, where we're going, and introduce the group project, how it's going to be like, and the goals for these particular units, and do a little wrap up at the end. So we're officially past halfway with the course, and I believe halfway through the semester as well. Things will pass by really fast, and it will continue to pass by this fast, if not faster. So in the first 6 weeks, we build apps assignments, and we will have optional labs for you to complete as well. And in the next, how many weeks? That's 7 weeks, 6+1, which is demo day. In the next 7 weeks, you will be applying your skills to design, develop, and demo an original app completely of your own from scratch. So throughout the past 6 weeks, you guys have delivered 3 apps, which is really amazing to think. These 3 apps are standalone, complete, independent working apps, which your app from this group project should look somewhere the same, have the same basic functionality, and things that you may, optionally add on to make it look nice and great, or have some kind of neat little functionalities. So since, if you think about it again, you have just delivered 3 apps in 6 weeks. So your goal is to create your own app in 7 weeks. And our demo day will be on December 8th. And we chose this date instead of having one extra week, so that we can avoid conflicts with finals and stuff, so that you guys won't be too crammed with everything coming together. And why is the group project so important? First thing is that it adds a nice portfolio piece for you and helps you differentiate yourself from anybody else who did not have not had this kind of experiences. It adds to your resume so that you can use that as a talking point during interviews. We can not only talk about the particular skills that you have learned to be able to complete this, get started and complete this project. You can even talk about the other technologies that you might learn while you're designing and building your app. And you also be able to talk about your experience with real world development practices, such as learning how to collaborate with or lead a team, and being able to develop a product end to end from the very first design, and getting all kinds of different opinions on what's the best decisions and being able to deliver them. And third, it also gives you entrepreneurship potential. Like one of our students, Lauren, he did want to have his own startup and be able to learn how to make an app for himself. And of course, your app, if you are able to complete a full functioning app, it definitely allows you to potentially upload it to app stores, and get a startup from there. And the optional group not optional, sorry, the group project, you will have 1 second. In the design phase, you will decide on an app idea. You will plan what your app should do from a user's perspective. You will create wireframes using interactive prototyping tools, which are basically just blueprints for your app. What is basic functionality, and how many screens your app is going to have, from one screen leading to the other, and how they all connect together. And lay out the schema for all the features your app will have, which is basically the kind of structure for the network request and such. And instead of the ad project assignments that you will be submitting, you will still have assignments which will account for your grades for 50% of the overall grades, which are the group project milestones. And these milestones, just like the previous app assignments, you will submit them weekly on your course portal. And for each group, only one of the teammates need to submit these, and then the entire group will get credit. And for our demo day, a demo day is where everybody comes together and present their projects. And in my own experience, I was able to be part of a like 100-student like a class, and then everybody will come together and present. It was a very big event. And with us, because we are only a small class, we won't be able to have that kind of experience. But we still have a certain level of flexibility and freedom in terms of how we want our demo day to be. For example, even though we only have 6 people, which makes up for 2 teams, we are able to decide if you guys want to have a demo day where people just come together, present what you have been able to build, and that was it. Or you will be able to decide if you want your demo day to be where 2 teams will come together and actually compete in terms of how well built your app is in terms of each aspect, such as how habit forming your app could be, what is the scope of your app, how many things does it include, what is the demographic that you're able to hit, how big is the target of your the market of your app idea. So I have been talking with some other tech fellows, gurus, in terms of what we could do for us. And they actually have told me a little bit of insider info that I could invite local companies, tech companies, as judges, or just the faculty, the TCU faculty, invite computer science professors to be our judges. And from there, I might be able to ask the company for sponsorship, and they may give us some kind of swag or a gift card prizes, which in my experience, when I did it, the best working apps received, I believe, $500 gift card, a lot. And then the second place team had probably 200-300 gift card, Amazon gift card for each person. And the third place team, I think, had $100 gift card. So that is something we could potentially do. And if you guys are interested in some kind of competitive element in that, then we can also see how we can have that happen. And because of that, we're gonna have a poll right now. I'm gonna create a poll for you guys and basically just get an idea of what you guys want for your demo day. I don't see an option to create a poll from right here, but just just leave it in the chat, or a thumbs up if you guys are down for the competitive idea about the demo day. If you guys would like to have a panel of judges who come judge your app in terms of design, in terms of difficulty, in terms of usability, give a thumbs up. If you would like, just a show of hands. Then we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. Okay. All right. All right. All right. We'll see what we can do. Anyways, again, using a discussion system, you will be able to get guidance, a little bit of guidance about what you can do during the group project. If you have any kind of questions whatsoever, not just technical questions, but about what kind of things that has been just been helpful in general while working on your group project? What kind of strategies people discuss that in the discussion system? So just look up group project. You might be able to get some kind of help. Or if you do have questions, just go ahead and post them about anything whatsoever, and you may be able to get different answers, such as what you see, several answers for the question, and you may be able to get a lot of help. And again, the coursework is split up into 2 equally weighted buckets. The assignments account for 50%, and the group project milestones account for the next 50%, which means if you have probably somewhere like 80%, 90% for your past assignment projects in total, then by the time you are 2-3 weeks into the group project, you are like safe to receive a certificate from this course and be able to complete it and gain access to the alumni network and such. And there's a coursework submission required for each week, and to be considered a graduate, you must get 60%. So the second half of this class, there will be 2 to 3 weeks of design and 3 to 4 weeks of building. And the reason why I say 2 to 3 weeks and 3 to 4 weeks is because CodePath originally designated 3 weeks for a design, and because we have basically 1 week taken off to avoid the finals, and because the 3 weeks, they could kind of be merged together, and plus while you're still designing, you may be able to get started on the very fundamental aspects of your app. So I say after two weeks, on the 3rd week, you might be able to just begin building. So you will have 3 to 4 weeks of time to build out your app. And that gives you, say, 4 weeks for one app compared to 2 weeks for an app that you have been able to build before for each assignments. That'll definitely give you a little bit more time to build out the basic functionalities and even at the end, polish your app for a little bit design points. And again, you have group milestone submissions, and it comes at the end of the demo day. And aside from that, I gotta tell you guys a little bit about our CodePath mentorship program. I don't know if any of you guys have taken advantage of it, but it's very, very awesome. I myself in the past week just started using their mentorship program, which you can go to codepath.org, go to resources, and then you can go down and see the technical mentorship. And from here, if you click sign up, you will be led to this page where you're able to see all their available mentors. And just the past week, I sent out a couple of connection requests, and this mentor responded to me yesterday immediately, and we're about to set up a meeting and just kind of talk about anything such as experiences inside the industry, interviewing, code and skill help, career advice, portfolio, resume review, all that kind of stuff. And for you guys, since when I did the group project, I was connected with a mentor, and they were able to help me a lot in terms of technical help, coding help, and also just kind of tells us, okay, is this feasible that you want to build, or instead of these, those are other alternatives, or if this concept might be difficult, that would be an easier alternative for you to do. So if you guys are able to take advantage of this mentorship program, it will help you a lot in your group project. I believe the mentors over here, as you can see, if you have these filters, once you complete your profile, you will have basically a match score, shows how compatible you are in terms of your kind of goals and interests. And you have filters to see, like such as my first language is Chinese. If I want to meet with the match with a mentor that speaks Mandarin and is interested in artificial intelligence, then I could just connect with them. And then there's immediately multiple candidates, and it's also matched based on availability status. So there are many mentors who are available right now willing to take half an hour of their week just to give you guys guidance and just to give back to the community. So that would definitely be something that would help you guys a lot if you guys are able to take advantage of it. And next, for our units, just sort of high-level goals, which is not very broken down. We want to explore existing production apps, such as look at Facebook, look at Instagram, look at Snapchat, LinkedIn. Why are they successful? What makes them successful? And kind of think about how your app idea could be able to touch on what makes them successful as well, so you can also have a successful app idea. And brainstorm your own original app idea and understand team structure and project pitfalls, so that you're able to form your own team structure and be able to have like an organized schedule and workflow, and also understand what are the common things that make your project like falls apart. If this person is assigned to do this task, but suddenly they get overwhelmed from all the kind of other responsibilities and tasks, then what do we do? Or other kinds of things that may impede your project from being able to be completed not only smoothly, but everybody have a pleasant experience. So things like that. So first, it's very easy to underestimate the tasks. And from my own experience, when I participated in the group project, which I can show you guys of my own group project as well, which is right here. I'm gonna send you guys the link to this so that you guys can look at these anytime. And when you are completing your GitHub repository for your own group project, it should look exactly like this, where you have all these sections and a complete page that demonstrates every aspect about your app. And these are all the things I drew this wireframe myself, and also use digital wireframe that was bonus, and a prototype that you can basically make a web page or things like that. And then if you click this, it leads to that screen, kind of shows you what the app is supposed to look like, but it's not the app. It's just one screen to another and things like that. So send this in the chat. We can take a look at that anytime you want. And while I was working at it, we wanted to make my calendar app be able to allow the user to log in with their Google credentials, so that they can synchronize with the Google Calendar, and then everything would just work together nicely. But turns out it was very difficult. Our teammates who were assigned, two of them, who were assigned to just tackle this issue, spent 3 weeks, didn't get anywhere, and we had to scrap that whole idea and just start with something that's way simpler. And I think we ended up using Parse. Yeah, you ended up using Parse as backend to allow user to add calendar events and delete them and such. Communication problems. If you have teammates that just do not respond to you, then it's gonna be tough. If you have teammates that respond last minute, it's gonna be a problem. So what you guys should do is to make sure, okay, how can you always have frequent and effective communication? How often should you guys be communicating? How long each time should you meet, and how frequent? Things like that. So always make sure to remain professional and do not take things personally when there is certain inconveniences and struggles that comes with the teamwork. And also make sure to manage your expectations in terms of what you want your final product to look like, what you are prepared to invest into this group project, and how you would expect your teammates to act, and how you would expect yourself to act when it comes to just basically communicating the different needs and wishes. So definitely make sure that you manage all kinds of expectations, and make sure to not have mismatched expectations that just pops up in the end, and then you'll be like, hey, I thought we were gonna do this, and things like that. And finally, task delegation, which is very important. On the surface, it's very simple. You're gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I'm better at this, you're better at that. So you can assign everybody to do what everybody does best. But you also need to consider, okay, this person has this much time to invest in this, and how much time might this task be requiring. And if you if you underestimate the amount of time, what are you gonna do? If they thought they could finish this in a week, a couple of days, and turns out they've been stuck on this for so long, what are you gonna do? How many people are able to divide this task down and work together? Or is this one person able to tackle multiple things at the same time just to make sure everything works fine for everybody else? And also, if one person is assigned to this task, something just falls apart, then how can you basically do damage control? And you should have a fail-safe plan for all kinds of things that will happen, such as in my case, halfway into the group project, two of my teammates, they were struggling with their midterms and almost just disappeared. And I was tackling a lot of things myself because I was the most invested within our group. And I had to pull several all-nighters just to make sure some of the things were working and some of the things looked exactly the way I wanted. So also consider all kinds of things that might happen. So basically predict the unpredictable and you'll be good. And team structure, for my group project, it was not official, but I was the team lead of our team, and I made sure I tried my best to make sure everybody was on task and had followed a schedule of what they were doing. And I was the team lead only because I was the founder of my team. I was the one that throughout this app project and asked for anybody who was interested to join my team and recruited people according to their strengths. So as a founder, I was just basically the team lead. And for you guys are assigned to teams that were basically decided according to your preferences and the amount of time invested and ideas and strengths and other constraints. So you guys, if you would like this format as well, where you have one person who's basically able to maybe be more invested and always make sure that every task was completed. All the group project milestones are properly submitted on time. So make sure everybody has the points, and you are able to kind of just keep things on track and communicate with me if you need any help. Then you guys may follow these formats, but I'm not gonna force you, even though I myself would prefer if you guys do that. But if you don't want, you think everybody can be kind of making sure you're doing your part, then just go ahead and just everybody will be equals and you can work together and communicate all kinds of issues with me individually or together at the same time. It's just up to you. So for this session, we're gonna do a little activity, which is just kind of discussing what makes a great app, and just think about, like I say, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, or any app. Think about the apps that you do use frequently, the apps you use sometimes, and the apps you use rarely. Why do you use them instead of other things out there that might be, less successful? What makes them the most successful ones that you're using right now? And also do a little app brainstorming. Come up with some possible app ideas that you think will be feasible to complete. And we will watch a video from team lead about the group project brainstorming.
Hi, I'm Tim. Some of you know me from the iOS videos. I'm one of the co-founders of CodePath. I built my first iOS app about 10 years ago. And that year I built 4 apps, and one of them we grew to about 1 million users before we sold it 4 years later. Since then, we've trained thousands of engineers on how to build mobile apps, and they've built companies. We had a team pitch on Shark Tank. They got funded by Mark Cuban, and many of them have become mobile engineers in companies all across the United States. So I have a challenge for you for the rest of this class, which is to build an app that has 5 regular users. And let me tell you, If you can get 5 regular users, the probability that you'll get 50 regular users is really high. And if you can get 50 regular users, the probability that you can get 1,000 regular users is really high. The reason for that is if you can get 5 people to use your app, you're solving their problem. And if you're solving their problem, I guarantee you that there's 1,000 people out there that have the exact same problem. Something else is going to happen. When you have people actually using your app, they're going to report bugs to you. They're going to ask for new features, and you're going to write more code to fix those bugs and add those features. And then as you get more users, there's going to be more feature requests, there's going to be more bugs, and you're going to keep on writing code. Slowly but surely, over time, you're going to write a ton of code. And when you go in for that interview, even if you've never had an internship before and they ask you for the hardest technical thing that you've done, you're going to have a ton to talk to them about because as you get to building real mobile apps, you're going to run into a lot of issues and you're going to have a lot of stories to tell them and they're going to be very impressed. So that's my challenge for you, which is to build an app that has 5 regular users. Over the next several weeks, we're going to walk you through a process to choose an app idea, scope it, design it, wireframe it, and then start building it in weekly sprints. Today, I'd like to walk you through a couple of exercises to start you down the road of choosing an app idea. So for these exercises, we're going to break up into small groups. These aren't going to be your final groups. They're just for the purpose of these exercises. The first exercise that we're going to do is
Yeah, for this session, we will break you guys into your actual groups. I think I have not let you guys know who your group mates are, but it's already decided and finalized. And we will be breaking you into your actual groups so you can go straight into talk about what apps you want to build.
app benchmarking. We're going to look at a bunch of apps together, and I'm going to walk through a framework for evaluating them. There's another reason that benchmarking is really important. I'm going to assume that you're like me and you're not a visual designer. And so the way that engineers can build apps when they're not designers is they can start to collect a bunch of apps that have nice designs that they like. And then when you build your app, you get a lot of inspiration from their colors, fonts, their layout. And if you do that, then your app will look pretty reasonable. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down to this app brainstorming guide and then also look at this example. So these are open in these links. When we're evaluating an app, we like to think about them in terms of the categories that they're in, as well as a number of different dimensions. So, for example, for the problem that you're trying to solve, how is it relevant to mobile? Most social apps are relevant to mobile because that's how people use apps these days. I'll give you another example. Airbnb, it was very important to them to have people post their homes. And you could post originally on their website, but they found that when they added the posting feature on the phone, the posting rates for apartments went way up. So that was an instance where it was very important for them to have a mobile presence. The second thing is, what is the story of your application? And is it real? There's a lot of apps that sound like they might be good ideas, but it's not a real problem. One of the easiest way to evaluate story is if you're the user for the app that you want to build. Because you can tell if you genuinely feel this pain or some problem, and you can tell if your product is a good fit for it. You don't have to build apps where you're the user, but it's often the easiest. Market is just a fancy way of saying money. Are people actually spending money to solve this problem? So for example, when Uber launched, people spend money on taxis, and therefore they would spend money on Uber. One common mistake is to try to think about ideas that don't have an existing market. It's very hard to build a new market app where people aren't already spending money on this problem. It's hard to introduce an app where for the first time they're going to be spending money. A lot of people go after big market ideas. Those are actually tough because that generally means a lot of competition and a lot of noise. Small market ideas are often the easiest to launch in because there probably aren't a lot of apps serving that space. So next is habit. There's some great ideas that are a real story, real problem, people spend money for it, but it's just not a situation that comes up very often. Like, for example, we have people who talk about moving apps or camping apps where people kind of collaborate to organize what they're going to bring camping. So that's something that maybe some of us have gone through. But the thing is, if they're doing it once every 3 months, 6 months, even once a month, it's very hard to launch an app for it. The easiest apps to launch are where there's a need to open the app at least once a day or once a week at the latest. The final thing here is scope. A lot of our teams tend to design these sprawling apps that are these kitchen sink apps that have so many features. If you look at real apps, successful apps, you'll notice that they are generally very narrow in scope. And so that's something to observe. And the final thing I want you to consider when you're building your app is the launch plan. The easiest apps to launch are apps that work for just one user. There's a lot of apps that don't work unless there's a volume of people on it. For example, Airbnb, really any kind of marketplace app, dating apps, they're not going to work unless there's a lot of people using it. And so it's very hard to do launches because there's not enough value until there's a certain number of people using the app. Now, this can be fixed if you have a launch plan. So, for example, when Bumble launched, I think they famously went over to a sorority, signed up all the girls over there, and then walked next door to the fraternity and said, hey, all the sorority girls are on this app. You should sign up too. And they did, and they kind of grew organically from there. Okay, so these are some different ways for evaluating apps. And if you look over here, for each app idea, try to enumerate how you would evaluate this app based on these parameters. So in this first exercise, get together in a group and try to discuss a bunch of apps along these things and see if you would want to build them yourself. After you finish evaluating some apps, the next step is to brainstorm app ideas. And so for this first step, you want to generate as many app ideas as possible. In your group, you should be generating at least 30 apps. And don't put a filter on your ideas. See if you can generate 10 dumb ideas right away. The funny thing is, in most dumb ideas, there's usually a kernel of a good idea, or there's a way for you to pivot from that idea to a good idea. And so for the first part, we're just generating a lot of energy here. The next step is you're going to refine your ideas into the top 5 ideas, and then you're going to enter them into the new app ideas framework. And then later this week, we're going to help you discuss this further with the class so you can form groups. That's it for me. I'm going to turn things over to the tech fellow, and I'll see you next week.
All right, and before we go into that, just gonna let me show you guys a little bit of some past projects. It was from last year. Yeah, like this. As Tim Lee said, if there's a problem to solve, then there's people that's gonna be, that's gonna need it, that's gonna love it, and it's a little bit more difficult to think about what's a good app idea if you think in terms of, okay, I want to do this, that does that, and I want to see if these people love it. And it's a little bit difficult because people didn't have a need for that thing. So if they're interested at first, they don't really need it. So if you think in terms of, okay, what needs are there in people that might need to be met, but that's not being met, then you can think of, if people hear these, if they hear that you have an app that meets their needs, they will want it. They will love it if it works. Like me, is as an example again, I wanted to make a calendar app that allows people to take a picture of a photo, and then you can automatically just think you have an event in there, of the poster, what it says, the title, event, date, time, and that's it. You're done with it, because there are so many things going on with, poster here. You see something interested, but you got somewhere to go, and you don't have time to do all that. You might take a picture of the poster and you forget about it. So I wanted to just have an app that does that. And when I talk to a lot of people, they're like, if you do it, I'll use the app. I'll use it. So if there's a need to be met, then your app would automatically just be so very desirable. And there's another thing, for this particular app, it looked very like something that could just go straight on the App Store. And I did look if it was, and I saw something very, very similar to this. And I think there was a likelihood they really just uploaded it to the App Store and did some more refining and polishing, and now it's a very big app. I don't know. That's just my conjecture. It could be a complete different thing. I don't know. But this is something that they really made. And if you made something like this, maybe for a different game, for another thing, complete different type of thing, you could have it up on the App Store, and people will use it. And this also, it's like a very simple social media app that you can post pictures. You know how to post pictures. You can see a feed, and you see, oh, they have a map. They have a chat room. I don't know how to do it. But hey, the optional labs over there for Yopi, they have these exact same things. So if you think, I want to do that, but I don't know, there's guides for it. there's so many resources for you to use to know exactly what to do step by step, how to build all those things, but according to your needs. So don't be afraid of any ideas that might sound a little bit, okay, I don't know how, I have no idea how to do it. You can go and find out. And again, this what Tim Lee has talked about, how uniquely mobile. That means that why is this an app instead of a website, things like that. That's the market, things like that. So gonna put you guys into the group breakup session in just a second, and you guys can start on the activity. Go to your 1 second. Go to the now right here. Go to the overview, not overview, the unit 7, which is today, and then from there you can go down to session 1. Go to app benchmarking, and then you can just kind of get started on it. You don't have to use HackMD. That's what they say to use. Use Google Doc, and that'll be just fine. Just kind of talk about reference some of your favorite apps and categorize them, and kind of talk about what they do, what needs they solve. And from there, go down to brainstorming. What needs are there that want to be solved? What dumb apps you might even think of that could potentially turn into a really brilliant idea. So I'm gonna put you guys into the breakout room in a second, and you guys can just kind of think about what you might be talking about.
So with a storyboard is first time.
Hello guys, you guys are also group mates with Tamay, but he has class at this time, so he's not able to join the meetings. So
Okay.
Yeah, he will definitely need to get up to speed on what we talked about. We try to put out the lecture recordings on the next day, or you guys can bring him up to speed. And yeah, you guys should definitely find another time in the week where you can all meet for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, or an hour, and just talk about the things that he needs to catch up on, because he has class at this time and he won't be able to join the future meetings.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess I'll be take his place and just kind of like help you guys also do the activities. Do any of you want to start a Google Doc?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What do you mean? Do I have to share the screen or something?
You could share a screen or just give put it in the chat, send a share link in the chat so Jiangwen can also have access to it.
Okay, I see. Share link.
Let me just check on the other room and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hi.
Hey guys. Did Ayo have to leave?
Yeah, she left because she had a job, I think at 7.
Oh yeah. No problem. And Shida, how's it going?
It's going good. I just because we can't send messages on the chat, I just asked for the Instagram, so now we're just making the HackMD thing.
Okay. Shida, are you there?
Okay, so I had one question. Are we supposed to use parse for the backend? Because it's not like for the production app.
You can absolutely use anything, and parse is just the easiest resource. There's often even other resources that CodePath considered using, and parse ended up being just the easiest to use, especially for students with a small project. I use parse. It was easy to navigate, easy to keep track. So I think it's a good idea if you have anything that you want to use parse. And again, if you want to further develop your app into something that will be uploaded to the App Store, parse may not probably be the best, but it may. So you will have to look further into that. But for the app project, the group project, parse is enough and it's good.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. So was Jida here before?
Who?
Was Jida? Did Jida step away?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I will put her back into the main room, and if you want to join the other room for the just brainstorming, I can put you in the room. Do you want to?
Which one? Oh, the whole row. Okay.
The other team.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Hey guys, every his teammates and
With that, no, John made it. We have sharing the papers.
Yeah,
We are sharing the.
I can't post the chat.
Yeah, no, that's great. And Arian, his teammates are, one of them is just stepped away, and we don't know if they'll be back. And the other one had to leave the meeting because they had something coming up at 7. So I just let him join you guys for a little brainstorming. Hope you guys are okay with that.
I can just leave though, because I just want to, I'm just going to type it in on the HackMD.
Yeah. No problem.
Yeah, so I'll just leave the meeting then.
Give me 1 second. Yeah, sure. That will basically be it. All right,
Okay.
you can leave.
All right, thanks. See you.
So if you guys want, you can share the Google Doc with me, and I can brainstorm with you guys too. Or do you think you guys are good? Yeah.
Okay. What do you want? The master story, optional nice to have story. Okay.
Okay. So first thing, we have 2 parts, right? You have app benchmarking, which is just thinking about the existing apps and things like Instagram. Everybody uses Instagram. And what makes Instagram successful? It meets people's needs to be connected and know what's going on. So if people didn't have Instagram, they would be like, okay, what's happening? What are my friends doing? I don't really know. Right? And what else? Just basically, besides the needs that is meeting, what other features is good about it? Like, it looks good, right? Just as an app. And the what else does it do? What else is nice about it?
We can get likes.
Yes, awesome. User gets good experience just from using the app. Right. So that's also a different way that is meeting the needs of people. So we can think about how about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not exclusive an app. Many people use it for app and website at the same time. I do myself. But LinkedIn as an app, it allows people to opens up opportunities, there's news, knowledge, and resources. So in terms of that, maybe you can have an app that connects people to resources, gives people some kind of knowledge. This is for a career, right? But you can have another app that gives people opportunities, knowledge, and resources for different kind of stuff, like niche interests, video games, things like that. So besides that, also helps people form connections to new people. That may be beneficial, right? So from here, kind of brainstorm a little bit. What are some of the needs, like for yourself or for other people, that just kind of needs one good thing that would like perfectly solve the problem, but it's not there?
Each program.
John, do you have an idea what kind of things, the problems you need a solution for? Okay, I'll leave you guys a little bit of time to think about it. And
Okay.
yeah, you can kind of just think about maybe think about some other good apps that's good, and you can make something similar to it. If you
Yeah.
want to do exactly just that for your app project, you can make a new Snapchat, your own Snapchat. You can make your own anything whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah, your app doesn't have to be crazy good. Doesn't have to be really solving a lot of people's problem and be able to be uploaded to the app store. You could just make a calculator. You could just make a calculator that's easy to use, that works, and that'll be perfect.
I'll try.
So think about anything whatsoever. Just any app project that comes to your mind, write it down, and then do the brainstorm and narrow down what are the best ideas in the end.
Okay. That is true. I see. How about Tinder based on the video? What do you think? The Tinder, but it's based on the movie. Oh, but like now Tinder has a movie as well.
You could definitely do that. Like Tinder is a lot like right. You can make a TikTok cross with Tinder, right? You can just keep swiping, across a lot of TikToks, things like that. But if you like the person, swipe right. That's a cool idea.
It can work, yeah.
And it doesn't have to be people dating, right? It could just be some stuff, anything.
I see. Interesting. What else? Yeah.
You can also write down your previous idea about crossing Tinder or something like Tinder with TikTok. Crossing two different apps together
can be good.
Yeah, like initially, Tinder it was just like crossing two different ideas together. Like there's Snapchat, I think. Was it Snapchat or TikTok? And then somebody crossed it with dating, and then they just realized you can just keep swiping it's the same model, right? And you can have it do a whole different function. So you can kind of think about what two ideas can cross together. If you have like, imagine if you cross Amazon with TikTok, wouldn't that be cool? You can have like Amazon, feature page, but instead of a catalog, you have just TikToks to scroll through, like what products are cool, solving people's problems.
That's true. Oh. How about How about eBay and Tinder? Because people love to do the window shopping, so it could happen in the computer or app as well. So maybe people just like to see the product, like swiping Tinder, like interested or not interested, and then some product is gonna show up in the app. Then
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
they can put or something. Oh yeah, good work too. I don't know. What else? Yeah, like people who want to sell something and the people who want to buy something, they can be matched, right? It's like
Yeah,
same as the Tinder stuff. And what else? And I want to make up that people can be matched with somebody who's already taken the class, the same class.
Oh yeah.
Then the students can get the information, or they can get something senior students who's already taken the class. It'd be useful for the people who are struggling the class. That actually it is happening in my class, so I think it's gonna be useful. Yeah,
That is a great idea.
especially for the class itself too hard without any help from the senior student. So some they shouldn't cheat, but like it's good to be helped, I guess, because many people dropping my class, and I feel so sad. And like, I don't know. I wanted to solve the, right? It's computer science. So maybe that's what I want to do as well.
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. Thinking about that, the need for an academic mentor, and what you could do from there. You don't have to make it in the form of like Tinder, right? But any app that just serves to meet that need will be a great app.
Yeah.
I actually had that idea for a long time. Like, why don't we have something like that?
Yeah. Because if I know more senior students computer science, that would be so easy to graduate, to take a class or study for exam, right? I don't know if it's included as cheating or not, but whatever. Who
Definitely
cares?
do not condone academic misconduct.
Yeah, academic mentors, tutor, whatever. Yeah, maybe, but they can pay for tutoring as well. Like, definitely.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
yeah, must be a good idea.
It is an idea. I mean, there might be some legal complications about having money involved, but just make an app.
Yeah, so hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a project. If you have something that does that, hey, somebody tutor me for $20. Some people would love to do it. That is a good thing.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Ooh, it looks so hard though.
don't think too high. You don't have to think like thinking about something that works perfectly, has every single feature met. And this is a different idea that we will talk about later, to have a minimal viable product. That's a term in the industry where if you have an idea, you want to do this thing, okay, what is the minimum of features that you must have in order to have that working? Like Facebook, okay, Facebook does all kinds of things: marketplace, dating, Facebook, this and that, blah blah blah, and Messenger as a part of it. But the bare minimum is, okay, you add your friends and family as friends on Facebook, and they post things, and you like it. That's it. And comments. That's the minimal viable product for Facebook.
Yes.
So kind of think about that concept in terms of every app project, app idea that you have as well, and think what's the minimum of features that you need for that.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna think about the functionality. This. First, we have to make an account.
Yeah, correct. That's one of the user stories. Allow user to sign up, sign in, and log out.
Yeah, user, then login stuff, right? Login and then post. Question. What else? People can ask. Yeah, people can ask the question. Post questions about us, then
Okay,
Oh.
that would be for just like a academic mentor app, right?
Kind of, yes. No.
Okay. You could have that under that in terms of the stories that you have, right?
Post the question and then yeah, some people can answer. I think that's good, I guess. What else?
Something like that, or maybe you can match people taking one class with people who've taken the other class. And maybe somebody can be a mentor and also ask for a mentor themselves. Like some juniors, you know?
Yeah. I think that should be good, I guess. What else? Yeah, I mean, if we do more, we can add some texting or messaging functionality as well, but it would be so hard, right?
Or maybe you can also add a friends system that just matches people who are taking the class at the same time, and maybe with people who have already taken the class.
Interesting. So we should focus on TCU first.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so only TCU students. Let's if people can help each other. Nice. Interesting.
This is definitely a great idea. I think it's very, very feasible to achieve. But you can also leave a few alternatives and think if your teammates maybe not on board, they think this is not feasible, they don't really like it, they prefer something else, they have another great idea, then still leave the room open for maybe other app ideas as well. But this is a great idea. I think if you can make something out, a lot of people at TCU will go and use it. This is definitely something that you can get on the App Store.
Especially computer science. So I see. Let's go. John, are you down with this? Johnny?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay, let's go. Ooh.
And since Tame wasn't able to join you guys, I think you guys should set up a time to meet during the week. Sometime before each Tuesday, so you guys will be able to meet together and complete the group milestones. We do not have group milestones to submit for this week. So this week, no assignments. Starting from next week, you will have submissions for every single week, and make sure you have to submit them.
Okay. Interesting.
use case app. Some of these are optional. And most apps have their archetypes described here. Typically, here there's you create apps into for 2,000 feet is usually there. The compose button. This is
I think it's about time. Just gonna bring everybody back to the main session, and then we can just close up.
Okay.
All right. Does anybody have any questions about the formats of the group projects or any other things? No? Then I'll see you guys next week, same time. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.